Alright, YouTube, what is going on, guys? How are you doing? Welcome back to another video, or I guess my first video here on the David Hammond Visuals YouTube channel, the first tutorial. So, hope you guys enjoyed the setup. We set this up super quick, got the gimbal. I don't know if you guys are able to tell what that is, but that is the film camera, my film camera, and my other second B digital camera. We have the audio coming from the shotgun mic up above, which you can't see, it's on a boom pole. But anyways, guys, you read the title. Today we are speaking of, or in this video, how to shoot better commercial videos, okay? I believe I titled it something along those lines. And as a bit of context, you guys can't see, but my laptop right here is uploading, the final files of the latest commercial shoot I just shot, okay? And with that, that inspired me to really teach and help you guys who are maybe just starting shooting commercial videography or photography, my tips, my flow, what I do, but more so just to give you value and a better understanding of how to do so, okay? So yeah, super simple. Anyways, with that said, guys, we are going to break this video down into 4 main sections, and that is number 1, pre-shooting, number 2, shooting, number 3, editing, and number 4, delivering. So I will be overlaying the photos and videos of this commercial shoot that I shot just recently to fill in the blanks, okay? So let's start off with number 1, guys, pre-shooting. Now, pre-shooting, before you hit record, before you send the files, before you edit, there's pre-shooting. Like, this is so vital, and this is why it's step number 1. And pre-shooting, for some of you guys who aren't familiar with this word, it's simply just pre-shooting, okay? So it's the planning, it's the gathering of the client, it's finding out what they want, what the story is, how it's going to unfold, how maybe you want to shoot it, how are you going to set things up, and really just all the backbone stuff before you proceed with the actually recording, etc., etc. Pre-shooting, in my opinion, is really the meat and potatoes. It's where kind of, the Pareto principle, the 80-20 rule, it's 80% in a sense of the entire video, to an extent. So with the video that I shot, his name is Dylan, with pre-shooting, what we did is, let's break down the entire process. I can explain it to you guys. So Dylan is a friend that I had for many years growing up together, and he reached out to me lately because of, word of mouth, just seeing that I do video and photo work, which I'll touch on in later videos for you, how to get more clients and things like that. But he reached out to me and he said, hey man, I am looking for these smaller business videos for his business to create more of a, a more seamless, automated process, okay? So instead of him calling every client and explaining things, it's more so here's a quick video. It just speeds up the business or the process times 10. So I said, all right, awesome, cool. I know you want a ton of these small videos, no problem, okay? And then what I did is Dylan and I hopped on a call, okay? And what I did was I asked him many questions, because you guys need to understand, as videographers or photographers, you are, for the time being, doing a commercial gig. You are working with and under this person, okay? Really, it's a collaborative effort, and you want to best serve this person, this company, this brand. It really doesn't matter, to the best of your abilities, but to do that, you need to really understand their exact vision. So I literally asked, I knew that he wanted these more automated mini clips or mini videos, which there actually were about 30, around each a minute long or so, but I wanted to know exactly why, right? And you can ask him. I'm gonna take the glasses off here. You can ask him. I was literally like, dude, I'm just asking because I want to know exactly where you were at, like your exact motives. And the reason you want to ask all these questions, even though to him it sounded a little, maybe a little strange, because it's like, well, why do you need to know this? You're just the photographer, videographer. That's not what he said. But maybe that's what your client's thinking, like, why do you need to know my exact motives onto why? The reason you do is because everything in your photo or video capabilities, the way you capture it, will follow from that sentiment from which they came from. Does that make sense? So if they're making these videos for YouTube, well, that's going to be very different than if they're making these videos for a corporate website. It's going to be very different if they're making these videos for just Facebook for fun. Like, you really want to know why. Like, why are you making these videos? What is your exact reasoning? And from that, the way you record, it will just, trust me, it's going to flow way easier. So after the call, me understanding that he wanted all these smaller automated videos, and they were for his website to speed up his business process, now I know exactly where he's coming from. So from the second I hit record, I can understand, I can literally, it's almost like acting, okay? Where if you're an actor, I'm not, but you can imagine, you want to put yourself in that person's shoes, who is the character of the story. Well, it's the exact same thing with photo and video. You literally want to put yourself into the client's shoes to understand this is why, okay? the result itself will be much more smooth. So that is that for pre-shooting. That is step one. Find out exactly what your client wants, why, get on a call with them, email them, however you do it, find out why, okay? Boom. So guys, let's now move on to phase number or section 2. This is shooting, okay? So now let's actually explain a little bit of why I used the gear I did, how I set everything up, why I set everything up, and then pressing record, how we rolled with that. So going to Dylan's house, guys, we actually initially thought we were going to film these videos in his room, okay? Now, as most of you guys know, I'm actually in my room right now, I'm sure you can tell. Rooms generally don't have the most amount of lighting available, you know. Thankfully, I have a nice big window, and most rooms do offer a window, but even with that, there's not a ton of light, okay? It's not something like a kitchen. A kitchen usually is a huge focal point of most houses where it's gonna have a ton of windows, a ton of light. That's pretty evident. So, and because on shoot day, I thought I was going to be shooting at his house, I brought 2 lights, okay? 2 softbox lights, which you guys can get on Amazon for like $70. Those are the exact ones I got. You don't need to get expensive lights. There are a plethora of options out there that are very cost efficient. So I brought 2 lights. I then knew from the call right off the bat that for the audio source, I was not going to want a lav mic. I actually wasn't. Usually I do go with a lav mic in these situations, but the main reason being I chose to use an external mic that I was able to hear and set up was just for that. Again, I'm not going to go too into depth. This isn't the video for the exact gear, but I used a shotgun mic attached to a boom pole, which was then attached to an external recorder, which was the Zoom H1N for me. And the reason I did that instead of using a lav mic is because I wanted to hear this audio. 1, it's a commercial shoot. You're getting paid for it. You don't want to screw that up. But 2, because this video was so heavily on talking, it was so heavy on audio and dialogue, and therefore audio, how it sounded. It wasn't, you know, a music video, let's say, where there's going to be a track overlaid on top. It was just speaking. I wanted to hear every single word coming out of his mouth. Now, with a lav mic, guys, not that there's anything wrong with it. It's all going to depend on the situation. If I can't hear exactly what's coming out of his mouth, and let's say he's doing a 5-minute talk, what if that whole audio clip was way too loud, everything was blown out? What if there was so much static? Like, I didn't want to do that. So that's why I chose that lighting source and that audio source. As far as the camera goes, guys, on shoot day, I used 1 camera, and that was because for these talking head, more corporate videos, for the most part, there's no need to get too fancy, okay? I didn't need to bring my second B camera. I don't need 2 shots. I don't need a top down. Like, nothing needs to be too fancy. It's a straight on, solid talking head video, okay? All right, guys, so now let's move on to the next part in still section 2. You guys now understand the gear I brought, why I brought the gear, why I brought the mic instead of the lav mic, maybe why I brought the 2 softbox lights, etc., etc. Now let's actually speak of actually pressing record, shooting. How's everything looking, okay? So super simple, guys. With this setup, I had the mic attached to a boom pole, which was maybe around 2 feet away from Dylan's head, just above him. I'll insert some photos so we were able to get some crispy, good audio, okay? Now, we actually ended up shooting in his kitchen, which had some pros and cons, okay? The pro is that the light was amazing. Kitchens, like I said to you guys before, kitchens have, for the most part, a lot of windows, so that was awesome. I still used the 2 softbox lights, but because we had really a plethora, a ton of natural lights, things just looked great, okay? So number 2, with the audio source, like I was saying, there are pros and cons. The downside about shooting in a kitchen is that the acoustics in a kitchen usually aren't the best. And acoustics, for you guys who are photographers or really videographers or even musicians, acoustics are basically how the dynamics of a room, how it sounds, okay? Now, I'm not an audio engineer, but acoustics are more so the reverb, the echo, how the audio is transmitted through the room. So because of that, I made sure to set up the mic very close to his head, around 2 feet away, 1.5 feet, kind of similar to this, so the audio would sound great. It would limit the potential of possible reverb and things like that. And then as far as the camera goes, guys, all I did was I simply put it directly in front of him, and Dylan had a massive island in his kitchen, so what I did was I got him to stand way on the far end of the island, and I stood right on the other end, similar to this, as far as we could go to create a ton of depth, okay? Like I said, I used 1 camera with a 50mm lens, so the 50mm lens I used is the Nifty 50. It's a 50mm 1.8. It's equivalent to 80mm on my crop sensor camera. So it was an 80mm camera with a ton of reach, a ton of zoom. It was able to grab him. It had a 1.8 aperture, so there's a ton of blurry background, and the compression, the depth, it was just very flattering, okay? So that is it for section 2, guys. Shooting, you found out the exact reasoning on pre-shooting, knowing what he was, his motives were. 2, now we actually shot it. Let's now move quickly on to section 3 and 4, which are much shorter. Section 3 is on editing. So how and why exactly did I edit the video and photos the way I did? Very simple, guys. I'm just going to be speaking about the color grade because there really wasn't actually any editing involved. It was just the individual clips segregating or separating the talking into little sections. Once that was done, it was done. Now, I used a very simple teal and orange style edit. Now, I usually don't do this, and I usually don't recommend it to you guys because I believe that the teal and orange look is way too overused. It's way too... I don't like that, personally. But in this scenario, it did work well. And the reason for that, guys, is teal and orange in a nutshell. You have to keep in mind color signs. Okay, so on a color wheel itself, teal and orange are actually opposing colors on the spectrum. Okay, so if you have a spectrum or a wheel, like a rainbow of colors, colors that are opposing colors are naturally going to be contrasting, very, very contrasting. So teal and orange, let's say orange is on this side, teal, there'd be a ton of colors. Teal is exactly on this side, meaning when you put these two opposing colors together, they're very different. They're going to stand apart. Opposed to, let's say, orange and red, they're very close in the color wheel. So if I take orange and red and I put them together, they're almost going to blend together. So that is exactly why teal and orange can work. Dylan's skin naturally is a bit more orange, and the area behind him was very white. So I wanted to give that a slight cool tint to really allow him to pop out, from his background, which really just draws your eye as the viewer to Dylan. So I did that with both the photos and videos, get a very slight teal and orange effect for that reason, and it turned out amazing, guys. So that was that as far as editing. Now let's move on to section 4, which is delivering. So this is you now, and I'm sorry I'm speaking quick, guys. There's a lot of information. This is now you delivering to your client. This is exactly what I'm doing right now. I know he's going to be absolutely stoked, and I've already sent him the photos. He 100% loved them, and these videos, I don't have his reaction yet, but I know he's going to love them. As far as delivering goes, guys, I'll make separate videos, again, speaking more on this stuff. Delivering, you're just delivering to your client. So once all your photos and videos are done, personally, I choose to use Google Drive. This is a free app. I mean, you just type it in on Safari or Google Drive. You can use it for free, and that's how I personally like to send videos and photos to clients. Some other apps I know you can use, one is WeTransfer. That's a great one. Personally, I don't like it though because you can only send up to 2 gigs of information, where with Google Drive, the free plan, you can send up to 15 gigabytes, and we can all use it. We all have an email address. That's all you need. And so Google Drive, that's currently what I'm sending right here, and there's about 39 minutes left to of waiting time because 30 videos, it's around like 5 or 6 gigs of video. So that is that, guys. I didn't speak of pricing or contracts, or there's a lot of things, okay? I'm going to make tons more videos. So if you guys have watched this and enjoyed this, please do comment down below more things that you would want to see. Let me know how this helped you. Let me know. Really, just there's so many things. I'm be making a ton of videos and questions because in my photo video journey thus far, I've definitely picked up and learned quite a bit that I want to help you guys just starting off, because I wish I had these answers and resources sooner, okay? Now, guys, I will finish it on this note here with a plug. I have created 6 courses, each about an hour to an hour and a half long, explaining everything on every single style of photo and video I know. We have a commercial course, a documentary course, a music video course, a short film course, an outdoor photography course, and an outdoor videography course, okay? What I've done for all of you guys is I've taken one section of all 6 of those courses and compiled it into a free course for you guys. So I would encourage you, if you guys enjoyed this video, to go download yourself that free course down below. It's around half an hour long, and it incorporates one section of each 6 courses I've made myself. If you guys are interested and do like that free course, you can go ahead and purchase a full course. One of those courses, which I would recommend if you like this, is the commercial course. That is an hour and a half, almost long course explaining what I speak of here, but way more in detail. So, but first off, if you don't want it, just get the free course, and if you don't like it, at least you have a free course that is half an hour of free information. You can, you don't have to get anything after that. So first link down below, guys, the free photo video course. And with that, I will finish it there. Thank you guys so much. I'll make tons more of these, like I've said like 5 times, and I appreciate you guys for watching. So thank you. Share this with a friend, and we will talk soon. Much love. Peace.